We can go ahead and get started. I'd like to welcome everybody to the regular board meeting here November 3rd, Thursday, November 3rd. Mr. Philo, would you call roll, please?
Ms. Landon.
Here.
Mrs. Malad.
Here.
Mr. Steininger.
Here.
Mr. McCourt.
Here.
Mr. Browning.
Here. Could we all stand and please for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, can I get a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Philo?
Ms. Landon.
Yes.
Mr. Steininger.
Yay.
Mrs. Malad.
Yes.
Mr. McCourt.
Yes.
Mr. Browning.
Yes. Motion carries. Next is to approve the minutes from the October 5th regular board meeting, if I could get a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Philo?
Mr. McCourt.
Yes.
Mrs. Malad.
Yes.
Ms. Landon.
Yes.
Mr. Steininger.
Yay.
Mr. Browning.
Yes. Motion carries. Next is board reports and good of the order. We could start with Wendy.
On the spot. Yeah, on the spot. So we want to congratulate the marching band. They've done a fantastic job at placing their last few competitions. And they have another upcoming competition this Saturday that everybody, if you've got some free time on Saturday, it's at Miamisburg High School. I believe they perform at 2:30 p.m. And if they make finals, which we're anticipating that they will, they'll go on to perform again that evening. So we hope that everybody can come out. Congratulations to the cheerleaders. They competed last weekend, so congratulations to them as well. Trying to think what else.
There's been so much.
There's been so many things going on in the community, so it looks. I think they had a great night at the pumpkin auction as well. So thanks to everyone, the parents and the students that participated in that, and we're looking forward to the upcoming winter sports and literacy night and a few other things that are upcoming. So.
Okay, Katie?
All right. I want to say thank you to everyone who worked so hard to put on a fabulous senior night for our last football game. That was a very good experience. And again, band is happening this week. A little plug for the marching band. The wreath and poinsettia sales are going on right now. So if you want to show your support and get your Christmas spirit on, find a band member or someone attached to it, and they can help you with those orders. Also, the Christmas concerts will be back on. We haven't done the full band, orchestra, choir thing since pre-COVID. So those holiday concerts will be, I believe, the weekend of December 11th, 12th coming up. So tickets will go on sale for that November 28th. And that's all I have.
Okay, Pat?
Excuse me. Congratulations to the football team. Even though these guys went out and had a 2-8 season, it's always nice winning that last game of the year to give you some incentive for the following. In talking with our new head football coach, his spirits are up. He's obviously going to be working on the off season with the guys, getting them in the weight room, and I sense in my years being around here that that football is on an upswing. So we're just hoping that they do work hard in the off season. It's kind of strange for me to say this, but we'll only be playing 5 more football games at Baker Junior High prior to moving over to our new stadium at the high school. So 5 more games left at Baker, and we've been playing football at Baker, I think, since maybe 53, 54, something like that. So a lot of football played out there on that field. Again, as Wendy said, looking forward to the winter sports, basketball, wrestling, and of course our bowlers. Just a plug for the bowlers, if you ever get a chance to get out and see one of their games that they roll up on the hill, please do stop in and see them. They've been quite successful in the past years. We've gone up to state, Jerry and I have ridden up to state, up to Columbus to see them. I think last year for sure, and then I
Yeah.
don't think they had it during COVID.
Right.
But we've been up there 2 or 3 times to see them. But just a good group of ladies and gentlemen, and good parent support group following them all the time. And then finally, I just want to throw out this, we as well, other districts have had a heck of a time getting bus drivers. And I just hope and pray that our community, our parents, show a little patience when we get a call early in the morning to say this route and that route has been canceled. We do have other people who can drive a bus, but still, when you get people calling off sick or whatever, and that's just the way it is. So, and believe me, talking Mr. Lally, he's telling me that even the Dayton schools also have a heck of a time getting bus drivers. So it's a problem all over. We're doing our very best to get the bus drivers that we need to bring our kids to school. But again, if you will, just exercise a little patience. And that's all I have.
Tim?
Yeah, I just want to say that I'm really looking forward to the winter sports and our continuation of our successes. And again, I wish our very best to our music club and to our marching band. Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to start with the marching band. They've been doing fantastic this year. They mentioned Miamisburg this Saturday. Also, next Thursday, the band's going to the Grand Nationals at Lucas Oil Stadium, which is, if you've never been there, it's worth going to and seeing just the size of the stadium that, or arena, whatever they call it, that they perform in. It's kind of overwhelming. I wanted to thank the staff at the primary, the trunk or treat and the parade. You know, I wasn't able, obviously, to be there, but looking at all the pictures and the costumes that the staff had on were outstanding for the trunk or treat. And it looked like everybody really, really enjoyed that. And I know our ambassadors did a lot of work with that also, helping put that on. I wanted to shout out to Bailey Walters. Bailey Walters goes here at the high school next Thursday in here at 3 o'clock. She's signing to play softball with Baylor University, which is a D1 school for softball. So I think that's a great accomplishment. The other thing is I went to the band concert, the high school band concert, and one of the things that didn't dawn on me with the delay of the school year, with the intermediate being late, talking to John Goretta afterwards, they had 3 weeks less to prepare for that concert. And the concert was still great, but he said he was a little stressed at times trying to get them ready with 3 weeks less. But again, it was a great concert. So that's it. We can move on to recognition of visitors.
I have nobody signed in, Mr. President.
Okay. Then, Mr. Lawley, we'll go to school district presentations.
Thank you, Mr. Browning. First up, we have Mrs. Carone from the Fairborn Primary. She has with her tonight some students from the Fairborn Primary to talk about the family literacy night that will be coming up here shortly.
Or we won't hear it. All right, so we'll start with Owen and just pass it.
Parents, come on up. Come on up.
Come on up and get
Don't be
pictures.
shy. Come on up, please.
Come on up here. Don't be shy.
Yep.
Look over here.
Hi, we are students from Fairborn Primary School. My name is Owen.
My name is Callie. My name is Callie. Every year we welcome families of Fairborn Primary School to do some fun learning games with teachers. We are so excited to invite families back to this event. This year, Family Night will be on Thursday, December 8th. It is from 6 to 8 in the evening.
We have a lot of fun activities, such as a book walk, a math game, people reading books to us, word bingo, making crafts, making books that we get to keep, and seeing Olaf and the Grinch. We have a really special guest that we get to meet from the North Pole, Santa.
At many of the stations, we get an activity to take home. The teachers are there to talk with our parents about how they can help us at home with the take-home activities. Students have the opportunity to win a free book at the book walk and word bingo. And to top it off, we even get a cookie from Santa's helpers.
We would like to invite you to come join us on December 8th for a great time at our annual family night from 6 to 8. Hope to see you there.
I just want to say what a great job you guys did. Thank you for coming, playing on being there. Could we get another round of applause for them?
Next up, we have Dr. Brackenhoff will talk about and recognize the highest possible score on a state achievement test.
Well, good evening. I will recognize the student. I don't see her here tonight. Her parents indicated they were going to try and make it, so I'm sure something came up. But last month, we recognized students for highest possible score on state test. And through a clerical error out of my department, an email was sent to the Little family without the student name. This is interesting how it happened, too. As a result, they attended with their 6th grade son, Levi. Their daughter, Serenity, was the one who was supposed to be recognized because she took the 6th grade test last year. Out of all the families that were emailed, they were the only family that had a child in 6th and 7th grade. So I have gone over to Baker and taken a picture of Serenity, had communication with her parents, and Levi, her brother, was such a gracious person, as was his family when they were here. So he got a little treat that he can hopefully share with his sister Serenity. But tonight we want to recognize Serenity Johnson, who is currently a 7th grader at Baker Middle School. She scored a perfect score of 790 on the 6th grade math test last spring. This is really impressive because only 11 Fairborn students achieved this out of 5,757 tests that were taken. So congratulations to Serenity. We do have a picture of her with her certificate that Mrs. Gayhart will post on our website. And again, our apologies to her family for the confusion last month, but also for being so gracious. We want to extend our thanks to them. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Brackenhoff. Next, a facilities update by Mr. Patrick.
Good evening. I'll go ahead and start with the 5 Points building. As many of you know, that building has been basically taken down all the way. Scrap has been hauled away, and this week they started to work on taking the concrete slabs out and taking that material away. So that's a good thing. Bad thing is we're about 30 days behind schedule. Project was supposed to be done sometime in November. Most likely that's not going to happen, and they'll have to come back in the spring and do the grass seeding and so forth. So, which isn't that bad of a deal, so we can handle that. One situation that we are dealing with is an underground tank that was discovered. We're still trying to determine if it was a gas tank, fuel oil tank, or a septic tank. So we still have that work to try to figure out and get that removed, but we're working on that. At the intermediate school, punch list continues. Technology issues continue to be worked on. And one of the issues we're having back in the mechanical room is the water pressure seems to be spiking at certain times, causing boiler systems to function out and go into alarm and so forth. So we're trying to work with that. The city was there this week to try to figure out anything, and it seems to be our issue and nothing with the city. So we'll work to try to get that resolved and so forth. At the Board of Ed office, we have a heat exchanger out. So none of the outside office areas have any heat. That heat exchanger's been ordered, isn't due to arrive until the end of November. So thank goodness the weather's been pretty decent so far. At the new high school, decking, roof decking, and wall studs continue to go up. If we're lucky, we'll see some of the roofing material go up next week on the academic wing. If you drive past, you'll see it all sitting up there. They should start to install it maybe tomorrow, but most likely next week, which is a great thing. Brickwork and CMU wall continue to go on, and trying to get everything dried in as much as possible before winter gets here. And I would just like to end with, as everything is going very well at the high school, I think a lot of that has to do with Peterson Construction. So I appreciate all their hard work and everything they've done for the district. Any questions?
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Patrick.
We'll move on to budget and finance. There's three separate votes in here, two resolutions, and after we do the motion in a second, then Mr. Philo will explain the resolutions. So the first is to approve the receipt of the monthly financial report. Could I get a motion in a second?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Mr. Philo?
Mr. Steininger?
Yay.
Mrs. Malad?
Yes.
Ms. Landon?
Yes.
Mr. McCourt?
Yes.
Mr. Browning?
Yes. Motion carries. Next is one of the resolutions. If we get a motion in a second, then Mr. Philo could explain it.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Philo, you want to explain?
So the resolution is, it's recommended by the treasurer and the superintendent to approve the attached resolution requesting state consents to issue bonds of the school district in the amount of $24,600,000 and to submit the question of such bond issue to the electors. This is the first of 4 resolutions. 2 will be acted on tonight. 1 will be acted on in November or in December. And then the final one to put the issue on the May ballot of May 2023 for a bond issue for $24.6 million. This, we are estimating, will need 1.75 mils to get to $24.6 million. This is for really to complete the high school project. 3 words that we use to sum this up is inflation, that we've seen inflation. We're building a $82 million building out there. Approximately a year ago, we had some costs that had increased, and so we had to cut some of the items out of there. We used the term value engineered earlier, but when we met with the Citizens Financial Review Committee, they said a lot of people at the base, they have a different connotation of value engineered. So really these are needed and necessary items that were cut of about $10 million. We also have a list of alternates that we want to do this building correctly. And we also are looking at some money possibly for the future middle school. So in terms of, the first word is inflation. The second is will not increase taxes because what we're planning on is if this passes in May of 2023, it will not be collected until January of 2027 when a existing levy of 2 mills goes off. So that levy goes off, this one comes on, will not be any increase in taxes to the voters of Fairborn. And the third is to complete the project and do it right. In terms of this allows us to complete our campus over there. We don't have to wait 5 years. And in terms of, Mr. McCourt talked about that we're playing 53 years of football over at Baker when we've had a high school over Park Hills for 50 of those years, Pat. So in terms of we want to do this campus correctly. So these are things that are needed and necessary. We want to do it in the May 2023. So if we get voter approval, we can then sell the bonds. We can start the projects. Jeff, in terms of, would talk to the architects and the contractors. We'd get those on gear and hopefully have all those completed in August of 2024. So we would have the project of the high school complete, not the middle school yet. So, any questions from the board on this?
No, I think we're good. You want to take a vote?
Mrs. Malad,
Yes.
Ms. Landon,
Yes.
Mr. Steininger,
Yay.
Mr. McCourt,
Yes.
Mr. Browning.
Yes. Motion carries. So the second is the other resolution, if we could get a motion in a second.
So moved?
Second.
Mr. Philo?
So in terms of this, how it differs from the first one, is this would allow us that if we needed to start some drawings a little bit ahead of, before the passage, it would allow us to spend the money out of general fund and then recoup it from the bond issue. We are not planning on doing this, but it gives us that latitude that in terms of if we wanted to. So it's only for our discretion.
Any questions?
Mr. McCourt,
Yes.
Mr. Steininger,
Yay.
Ms. Landon,
Yes.
Mrs. Malad,
Yes.
Mr. Browning.
Yes, motion carries. So that's it for budget and finance. Next is administrative reports and superintendent recommendations. And this goes all the way to the bottom of page 8. So if we could get a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Philo?
Mrs. Malad,
Yes.
Ms. Landon,
Yes.
Mr. Steininger,
Yay.
Mr. McCourt,
Yes.
Mr. Browning.
Yes, motion carries.
There's a note in here that Katrina Wilson, our second grade teacher who I know and worked with for a while, will be retiring, and we want to have a special resolution of tribute for 34 years of service with Fairborn District.
That's awesome.
Jared, did you notice our names are not here?
Next page.
It's
I
not.
don't see them
Oh,
here.
okay.
I don't know if that means anything, but,
Yeah.
Mr. Philo, on page 8, I noticed 3 board members at the bottom of the page. Mr. Browning and
Looks like
myself,
the-
name
I
is not
noticed
on
that.
there.
Page got cut off.
Yeah,
Page got cut off, but on my official board minute sheet, you are listed in.
okay,
page.
super, thank you.
Okay, next is gifts and donations. This month it's Steve Ross, $25 for the turf field fund. And then next is work session.
We don't need it, board will go into a work session after maybe a 3-minute recess here. We anticipate work session to go over a number of items, and then we will go into an executive session afterwards for some personnel items with no other action other than adjourn from executive session and adjourn. So what time do you want to start the work session? 6 o'clock? You need a 5-minute break?
That's fine.
5-minute break? All right.
Yep, 6 o'clock.